Which unit were you with?
The 101st Airborne, the 506th Infantry Division.
Now, 101st Airborne, very famous
Yeah.
division. What exactly did you do?
What did I do?
Yeah.
I was a bazooka gunner. That was my job.
Mm-hmm. Tell us about some of your experiences in the European theater as part of the 101st.
Well, they jumped us in Holland for the Holland invasion, and we fought there. We captured bridges and stuff, and the Germans were pushing us.
What year was that?
In 43,
1943.
44. And Germans are putting the pressure on for the last drive, you know, see what they could get us out. And we fought there in Holland, and we liberated Holland. And then they took us over into Bastogne, where the Germans were really driving everybody out, you know, and they had everything that they had in that area because they wanted to capture Bastogne. It was like a communications center, and they wanted that real bad. And they took us up, the 101st Airborne, the 506. They took us up in trucks, so far, and then we had to march the rest of the way in. And the other outfits that was in there were coming back. The Germans were overrunning them, you know, bloody, carrying guys, one arm, there was blood all over the place. And we were going up, and they said, "Good luck, fellas." And this was in the wintertime, snow on the ground, below zero weather. And we got up in there. After we got up in there, the Germans surrounded us. And there we were, like a hole in the donut. And it was fighting all the time, you know. And we'd fight a couple of days, and then they'd take us back, a little piece to rest, and then they'd take us back up. And we was back in the rest area. And a little town of Foy, Belgium, was about 5 miles from Bastogne. And the Germans would come in there at night and drive the Americans out that was in there. In the daytime, the Americans would go in and drive them back. They kept that up for 3 days. Neither one could hold the town. So they knew we were back in the rest area, maybe half a mile, less than that maybe. And then they called for bazookas because that's the heaviest artillery we had. And they called for bazooka gunners up there. They wanted to hold that town. There was a tank come in every night and drive the Americans out. It's just a small town. So I was a sergeant of the bazooka squad, and I had an assistant that loaded my bazooka. Me and 2 other gunners volunteered to go up. Well, they moved us in at midnight, and they said, "Now there'll be a tank come in there regardless. Get him if you can." So we went down, and we looked around for a position, and there's a church right in the center of this town, like a courtyard around it. And I said to my assistant, I said, "I'm going over to that church because all the roads come to that church." So I went over there, and he went with me, and the other gunners got positioned somewhere, which I don't know where they were. And I said, "I wonder if that church is open." So I checked the door, and it was open. I said, and it was cold, you know, we were cold. I said, "We're going inside this church and watch this road that comes up this way because Americans are back here and the Germans are back here, so this is the only road they could come up." So we sat in there. I kept up looking out this door. I looked out around 2 o'clock. Here come this tank up the road, not making any noise, just creeping, you know. The snow on the ground is quiet. And I thought, "Oh, here I've had it." So I said to my assistant, "Here he comes." So we ran out around the corner of the church. And I left him come, just as close as I could. Probably, well, there's a road right in front of the church. He's right on the other side of this road. And the Germans are there with the trap doors open, 4 of them, looking around, you know. And I left him come as close as I could. I bet you he was, well, bazooka isn't accurate over 50 feet, so I knew I had to let him come close. And they told me in training, don't even try it in the front of the tank because their armor is too thick. You won't do it with a bazooka. I had no choice. I couldn't go around them because the Germans were there. So I waited. He got up there, and then I got enough of nerve up. I stepped out. I fired, and it hit his tank. Trapdoor shut. He backed down the road. I don't know even where I hit him. I said to the assistant, I said, let's go back in the church. I don't think you'll come back. Well, I was mistaken. Half hour later, he comes up this road again. Trapdoor shut. The turret going right toward that church. And I knew he had it. I knew I had it. I said, I'll never see the United States again. So I was standing there waiting, and my assistant tapped me on the shoulder. He said, here's 2 other bazookas. I had my mind on the tank. So I said, him coming. I knew it didn't come as close as he was the first time because he knows I'm there and he's ready. So I left. The little heart started to pump, you know. I got enough of nerve up, and I stepped out and I fired again. When I fired, he fired, and he hit the corner of the church about a foot above me, knocked me back. I come to, I looked down, I picked up another bazooka, stepped out, and I fired that, and well, the track blew off. But after my second shot, there was no movement in that tank. Now, I don't know if my shell went down the gun barrel or I hit that little strip where the turret turns, but I got the tank. So I went back, and while I was going back, an officer from some other outfit come out of the house that was back there. He said, where do you think you're going? Well, that sort of peed me off a little bit. I was only 21 years old, you know. And I used words I shouldn't have used to an officer. You don't get away with that, you know. And he said, what's your name, rank, and serial number? I told him right off, 337644714, Paul R. Lehman, 506. So I'm back to my outfit. And the guys that come up there with me, they're already back there, had me reported dead. They said, the Germans have him. He's done. I was the only guy in there. I didn't know this. So we fought then through further on.